5 o'clock. I want to call the Public Works Committee for 9/17 to order. Well, first we have Highway.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Hey, don't even slide in there, you
It's so
know.
organized.
This is an easy month. I don't have that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ray will make up for it.
All right, still chugging along on the mowing. Our rental mower is still going. That's gonna be going back next week.
You did a good job on 26A. Was that the new one or?
No, that's no, I think that's that's the new one we bought last year, right? Craig did that.
New Holland blue one?
Yeah, that mower does a nice job, and that operator, that kid's good.
Well, tell me he did a good job, yeah.
So the driveway pipe installations, clear and brush weeding around guide rail, sign maintenance, equipment maintenance, doing some sandblasting and painting of plows. Ditch and culverts, I got driveway culvert installations on there twice, trying to make myself look busier than. Hot mix patching the roads still going on. We did have some storm damage cleanup and a lot of trees lately. We moved 75 feet of old cable rail and installed 132 feet of box beam guide rail on County Route 5 at the intersection of State Route 22 in the town of Canaan. And we completed 4.16 miles of hot and place recycling and began prepping for paving on County Route 5 in the towns of Canaan and New Lebanon. They started rebating up there yesterday, and we'll begin paving this weekend, right, Chris?
Friday or Saturday.
Possibly Friday or Saturday. Personnel, we're one employee out on workers' comp, and we hired one MEO1.
Good for you.
No new business and no resolution yet.
Oh,
Tony, is the Friday, Saturday good enough that we can go ahead and post it on Facebook, or should we wait?
He was pretty firm that it was gonna be either Friday or Saturday.
Is it
Yeah.
Television?
Television,
They've
yeah.
been out there every day. so-
Yeah, yep.
We'll go ahead and get that on Facebook.
Yeah, because it looks like the weather's good between now and then, so they really shouldn't have any delays.
Thank you.
Yep,
Question, Tony.
yes.
The don't head to the church down, if you're now on 23 South, up by the farm stand,
Mhm.
what's that, County 28?
27.
27.
27.
There was an accident there, we heard the other day through the grapevine. Well, they've been hitting, the public's been hitting us up to try to make that a T. I don't know how that stands, because
Yeah,
like I said, I have no jurisdiction.
That's the
in
one
that.
we discussed, right? Remember, it's the TOT kind of controls the intersection.
DOT has control of the intersection.
Okay, so we basically have to go through them to get, if they want to do something, even though it's your guys, do they
Well,
make the?
We would need to get approval from DOT,
Do that.
and it would be up to the county to actually make the improvement.
Okay, so are you guys interested in doing something? The only reason I asked is I'm in touch with DOT about other projects, so I can just ask them. Just
I
say,
think our biggest issue, at this time is the cost, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, that was, right, that's what we had discussed. That was the cost and where we would pay, because it's pretty expensive.
you have to
project.
acquire some land there. Yeah.
yeah, the farmer. I know
Yeah,
they make it a
I'm not sure where the
T-section.
right of way is through there,
Get that whole too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it just, listen, I get beat up, and I just said,
Yeah.
it's not my jurisdiction. It's the county and the
Right.
state, they're the ones that make the call. And But I keep getting asked, and I just heard now there's that, so you know.
Yeah, I
gives them
heard
some-
that the other night.
hear
And
that,
that's the first
they're
thing
gonna
I
have some-
thought of. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they got some teeth now, I can say, well, look what happened.
Right.
So I'll talk to the
And
state.
you know, Kippy, the farmland that's around that, does that happen to have, under an easement as well too, or,
That I can't.
that could complicate it too, if it does, if they need to acquire a piece of it and that has an
I mean, I
easement,
gotta,
you know.
there's an engineer I'm meeting with coming up from Poughkeepsie because he's coming up in Claude to look at
Okay.
some other stuff.
Yeah, no,
While he's
that's
here,
good to
I'm
ask,
just gonna
but
ask him to
Yeah,
say.
it can't hurt. Yeah, absolutely.
Just see what happens, but I don't want to shove it down the county to spend all the money if they can help us do something.
Right.
Yeah, I remember we took a look at because it comes in at a pretty acute angle,
Correct.
we would have to obtain land to the south to be able to provide radius.
Correct.
for
Make it
snack.
swing out straight, especially with trucks, because they got,
And-
then they got to
and
make a
tractor
left.
trailers as
Yeah,
well.
okay. Let me see what I can.
maybe Kippy will donate the money.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna charge a fee for all those people who live in his farm.
Bye, Tony. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Any other questions for Tony? If not, we'll move on to engineering.
Thank you. I do have a few items and I do have a few resolutions. Surprise, surprise. How is everyone? So starting off on our bridge projects, County Route 7 over the Rojan. Work continues down at that particular project. Concrete pours for the new stem walls have been complete. And the project, as far as a three-sided culvert, three-sided structure, is scheduled to be set on December 23rd. September. September. Mill Hill removal of the existing bridge superstructure is complete. All that's still been moved off site. Existing abutments are being modified to accept the new bridge girders, and the new bridge seats are in. If you recall, last year that was one of the delays we had with Pleasantville, was actually getting bridge seats, but they're actually in the contractor's possession. And the new bridge girders are set to be scheduled to be set on October 8th. I'm really having a difficult time. Sorry. Yeah. County Route 7 over the Punza Creek, superstructure stem walls have all been removed. Excavation for the new structure is complete. Contractors forming the foundation for the new structure. There'll be a concrete pour on the 18th, and the new structure is set for delivery and setting on September 26th. So each one of those projects, those three projects are still on schedule, all to be completed, and at least to have the binder coat paved before the end of November, actually just before Thanksgiving. So we're still in good shape as far as being able to open up those roads before winter hits. Buckwheat Bridge environmental inspection reviews are complete. There was bald eagle located in the area. We didn't find any nests or anything of that nature, but the habitat obviously is there. In addition to that, there are long-eared bats underneath that bridge. So we are working with the consultants regarding how we deal with that. We think that we're going to go ahead and seal those up over this winter, because again, any type of work that we do, as far as disturbances, have to potentially either take place during the winter, or we have to ensure that there are no bats in the area. The removal of that structure, when we get to that point, would probably happen during the spring, summer, fall months. So what we need to do is be prepared and actually, over the winter months of this year, seal those areas off so they can't get up into those areas and nest. So a little work over the winter for our bridge crew. Survey team anticipates being out there the second week of October regarding their field survey. Rossman Bridge field survey, soil borings, environmental field work is all complete. Consultants are preparing their preliminary design report. Once that preliminary design report is drafted, we'll go ahead and we'll set up a meeting with the town, providing an overview of the project. Excuse me, Stuyvesant Falls Bridge. New York State DOT has received comments from the consultant parties and provided the county with direction as far as the next steps for the Section 106 review. So Historic Stuyvesant, as well as the town of Stuyvesant, provided comments. The next steps for the county is we need to engage an individual to do an architectural review of the structure itself to see whether the structure as a standalone can be listed onto the state and national register. Right now, it's listed as part of the district, but they want us to go and see if it could be listed on its own. So we have to do that. In addition to that, they've expanded the potential area of impact, and they want us to take additional photos during the leaf off season from the bridge as far as the view shed. So we need to be able to do that. Once we do that, we'll get those reports together, submit them back to DOT, address any comments that they have, and then once that's done, then they would offer that information out to the interested consulting parties for additional comment. So again, we're in the middle of that process, but as I mentioned to you before, this is a long process. I fully anticipate that it will be about a 24-month process.
Right. If it were to be a standalone historic item, that potentially change the scope of work?
It could, but it doesn't automatically, change the scope. It doesn't automatically then say that the county has to by all means. Absolutely,
I think they just want more documentation. of
yeah,
it, You
it's,
know,
it's more of the documentation, okay, and eligibility, but it doesn't preclude anything that we're doing at this time. And there'll be further review as we move forward that may dictate that view. But right now, it doesn't, require that we keep it, if you will, okay? So if you recall, still, discussing Stuyvesant Falls Bridge, if you recall, I had mentioned that based on the 24-month period that we've been talking about as far as this 106 process and then the 4F process, reality is that I'm pushing that project schedule. So anticipated construction probably wouldn't take place until 2029 into 2030, okay? Because the review process we figure is going to be into 2027. That would allow 2028 for design, going out to bid, 29 into 30 for construction of the overall structure. Keeping that in mind, just this past Friday, there was a red flag. DOT's been doing their inspections. There's a red flag that was been identified for that particular bridge. Right now, the load rating on that bridge is only 12 tons. They've identified an additional structural member within the truss that may or may not impact that load rating. New York State has provided a red flag indicating that the county needs to either conduct a load study to see whether it's impacted and see whether it needs to be lowered again to a new loading rating, or close the bridge in its entirety. Again, if we close that bridge now, that is on a county road, and so that would mean that that probably wouldn't be opened until that 2030. That's a very long time to keep that bridge closed, in my opinion, as far as a county road.
Long way around.
Yes, it's a
and you
very
talked
long.
about Rossman Bridge. For those of you who aren't aware, Rossman Bridge, when that takes out, the alternative for getting any emergency vehicles across the creek would be Stuyvesant Falls Bridge and vice versa. So,
So
having them both out at the same time is bad.
yeah, so there are a couple things. So what I've done, as soon as I got that information, I reached out to the consultant that did the last load study that was done back in 2022. And at the time, that cost for the load study was $16,700. I'm estimating, because all they need to do is to redo it. They already have the information, but they need to update it. I'm estimating about $20,000 for that load study. I'm waiting for that proposal to come back. As part of that proposal as well, is I'm requesting information is once they complete the load study is to also provide an estimate of what improvements would need to be made and the cost associated with that to bring it or keep it at 12 ton or to remove it in its entirety. That is to say, take it so there's no weight limit. All right. I can tell you back in 2022, when the last load rating was done, estimated repairs back in 2022 at that point were about $300,000, $250,000 for repairs with an additional $50,000 in design work. So again, it's a $300,000 repair at the time that if that type of an investment is made, it really is a Band-Aid. All right. That is to say, we're going to potentially make an investment at the county level that would not be funded by the state through their bridge program. We may be able to go out to state representatives to see whether we could obtain some funding from them, which I would highly recommend that we do. But if we do something, the likelihood is that those repairs, whether we rehab the existing bridge or whether replace it, it's a Band-Aid and it's money that is lost, if you will. Okay. So it's a temporary fix, but I just want to let you know as far as the committee, those are the actions that I've taken to date. My apologies, Kelly. I'm expecting that proposal to come in within the next few weeks. And so therefore I'll be requesting a special meeting of public works. I know it's becoming habit for me. My apologies. But that's where we stand as far as Stuyvesant Falls. So I just wanted to let you know where that is. And once we get that information, we'll at least be able to make a more informed decision as far as what those next steps are. But unfortunately, at this point, they're just not great options. Okay. 911 center, trench duct material is scheduled to be delivered in the third week of October. The existing site work has been completed. Parking area has been paved. There's also striping that's been done. Contractors are scheduling equipment startups starting next week. And we've also been coordinating with the 911 folks as far as the server, working with facilities as far as moving server racks into that, and working with their vendors as far as the overall completion of the project. They're finishing up some of their finishes on the interior as far as carpet tile work, different things like that. But it's really coming out to be a great project there. So we see the light at the end of the tunnel, at least at this point. 11 Warren Street. Pre-construction meeting was held on September 9th. All the contracts have been signed. Contractors in the process of mobilizing to the site. They've actually installed a construction fence to keep the site secure. Demolition has begun. It started on September 15th. They are staging the construction as we previously identified. They're starting over in the Board of Elections. They're starting their demo there, and then they're going to work their way down the building. So going from Board of Elections to the probation department, and then down towards the public defender's location, as far as that goes. One note regarding 11 Warren, as far as the fence line, we do have EV chargers down at that facility. Unfortunately, those EV chargers are located on the inside of that secure fence. So what we did is we reached out to the company that handles the app as far as notifying people, where EV chargers are and if they are available. They have already updated their app indicating that they are not available at that particular site. So hopefully that helps the public not to go down into that area. Unfortunately, we did not receive any proposals on the building facade. Those proposals were due right after the Labor Day holiday, the first week of September. Although we did publish it into the paper, we put it onto BidNet. I had received a few phone calls from an entity that was interested. We actually did not receive any formal proposals. So maybe because it was during the summer, maybe because it was just, right after the holiday, we're going to re-advertise that. And then I'm also going to reach out to a few more design firms and send them the information directly as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get some responses. Okay.
Do firms like Labella and Barton Vegetas have design capability as well?
Yes.
Or just engineering?
No, they have, yeah. So
And they
Labella,
didn't respond to that?
they did not respond. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did not respond. I reached out to Labella, had a very quick discussion with them, and they said it was the end of summer, they were on vacation, and just never got around to it.
All right, you gotta get up to date.
They're being diverted now, so this might be a good time.
Exactly, right. And it'll be good winter work, quite honestly. It'll be good winter work for them. Airport taxiway lighting system replacement has been complete. The pads around each one of the lights has been installed as well. The other projects that we're working on has to do with the new parking lot area that we received funding through the bipartisan infrastructure law. The cores for the asphalt have been completed on that, and they're starting their design. We're also continuing to work with them on their design of the automated weather observation system. So both of those will continue design through the winter months. I did also receive a request from the airport consultant. They're to a point based on some initial input that I had provided them on the master plan, where they were doing some preliminary layouts as far as some changes, some improvements that were not previously identified. So we'd like to convene that subcommittee again sometime during the week of October, or excuse me, sometime during October, and that would be targeting either the 22nd, Wednesday the 22nd, or Wednesday the 23rd, depending upon everyone's availability as far as that.
October, you said 22nd or 23rd of October?
Correct. Yep, either Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday is
We
finance.
just gave you a bridge.
Finance is at 3:00.
We'll joke
on
about
that
that.
day, on the 22nd, but we could do it before that. I don't know, how long do you expect that to be?
I would think that they're probably gonna want a good hour to an hour and a half.
I don't know how that works for Kelly, but if we did it at, 1:00 on Wednesday, the 22nd, which is 2 hours before finance.
Wednesday, the 24th.
October, I'm sorry.
No,
October.
October, right?
October,
Yeah. I have that as
Yeah, there's nothing on.
finance at 3:00.
So 1:30?
Well, that only gives you an hour and a half.
Here.
All right, I'll see if that works for them.
1:00
And then
okay,
if we need to, if they feel that they need more time, then I'll let them know 1:00.
I would do one anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that where you have it?
give us a
Okay.
few minutes in between.
All right. Very good. I'll confirm that with the consultant and then send something out. Thank you. Water sewer district, county received correspondence for our property owner located at the intersection of Route 66 and Gaybauer Road, requesting water and wastewater service in the amount of 27,000 gallons per day. The gentleman that owned that field that's located, at that intersection. So I had requested a letter that provided a breakdown of what they were proposing. So they are planning for the potential of a 30-bed assisted living facility, 81 condo units as part of a project, and as well as a convenience store with food service.
On Gaybauer, that corner,
Yeah, the intersection of Gaybauer and 66. It's the,
where the little camp was for a little while, the RV and.
no, this is down in the field. Was there a camp down there?
Probably.
Well, there's a
Right.
guy, the brothers
Yeah.
were fighting, he planted.
I was gonna say, that's a lot of wastewater for,
Well, the problem is,
an RV. Shares.
our zoning doesn't allow it at this point unless we change the zoning. We've already contracted them, told them that. I can tell them, I said, you gotta, we make a zoning change, or otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll figure that out, but.
Yeah,
I mean, I
so-
did say, do your homework.
Okay,
You know what you're
so
doing, so he's probably just trying to see
that
that
could very well be.
legally that they can hook in or not. hook in.
Right. So what I've done is I forward a copy of this correspondence over to the town of Greenport, because obviously we have a contractual obligation with the town of Greenport as far as our maximum capacity at 70,000 gallons or 75,000 gallons per day. That being said, currently we could potentially take this on, okay, based on our current flow. And that would bring us up to a total of approximately 65,000 gallons a day. All right, but that then doesn't give us much room for any further expansion. I did reach out to Mike Tucker to try to obtain some additional information from him as far as any of the existing vacant lots within the Commerce Park, or underutilized lots, to see if we can determine what the anticipated full build out
Right.
of that would be before we then commit to anybody
Protect ourselves, right,
outside,
yeah.
exactly, anybody outside of the district. And that includes the water, or excuse me, any water and sewer expansion up into the airport area for hangars and any
Right,
businesses. So that's where we're at this point. I anticipate once I get that information back, I'll convene the water and sewer district subcommittee, because I am going to be discussing with them this fall, a rate increase for the water district leading into 2026 that I included into our budget. Okay.
What's our contribution to Greenport's overall capacity?
Percentage wise, less than 5%. Less than.
But they've allotted us, but is there more open potential for them, or are they?
Well, so what complicates this, we are tied at the hip, so to speak, with the town of Greenport. What complicates this is, since this project also contains residential units, in addition to any type of extension that we need to do, we actually have to, as the county, because the projects, those residential components generate more than 2,500 gallons per day, as far as an estimated flow, there's what's known as a sewer service extension permit that's required from New York State DEC. So DEC gets into the review. DEC then also wants to look at our capacity within our transmission system. But then also that dovetails into Greenport's capacity, being able to handle the flow. Now, Greenport also is looking at some major projects where there's a apartment building, apartment complex as high as 163 units, as well as some other housing projects, including the wellness hub that is going to contribute. So they have already been in the process of discussing those projects with DEC. DEC is requiring that a hydraulic study be considered for Greenport. Greenport does not have an issue with obtaining or accepting that wastewater during dry weather flows, but it's during the wet weather flows that they've been running into some issues. But this would all be part of that review. Okay, so that complicates it a little bit as well.
We have another problem.
Well, that's.
What about that
so-
other application
so-
down the road?
Like I
Well,
said, we
that's
have
exactly what I was
Amador
gonna say.
just notified us this week, they just got their archaeological study. So I don't know where they're going. I mean, they've been gone since, pandemic, so I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know yet.
Yeah, and
They are coming.
yeah,
And
so.
if they got to put their own plants in, they got to put their own plants in.
That won't be a small one either.
Yeah.
No, they were, so just Amador, and it, again, unless things have changed, but when they last approached the county as far as connecting into the water and sewer, they were looking at least 80,000, if not 85,000 gallons per day, just on their own. Now, they apparently were doing and had done some due diligence on their end, but although I have not seen the findings
Right.
of that
Nobody's
report,
seen
they have not
anything.
shared any of
Right.
that information with the county as
They
of
kind
yet.
of went away. It's out of the blue. They called us and let us know. And I agree.
Correct. Yeah, so obviously, if that comes,
I keep telling them, you gotta call.
they have to come back, especially, again, it's first come, first
I
served.
know.
So if they walk away and we have limited capacity,
Right.
that may hurt them.
Well, that's what they gotta figure it out, but I can't,
No, understood. I just,
they take the time until they decide. I mean, this guy here, he just followed through what I told him to let you know what's looking to do. But that doesn't mean they're gonna do it. I don't even know how that's all gonna work out. We have a problem with, might have a problem with his own change anyway. We don't know that. Well, I told him that. Can't guarantee anything. You're asking us questions, but we don't know how it's going. So we'll see.
so those are the next steps. So we'll, I'm waiting on Mike Tucker, on some additional information as far as future, build out. Because then I can estimate what those flows would be associated with that. And then, we'll get the Water and Sewer District, subcommittee today.
Is there any federal infrastructure money that would help us with the expansion, an additional expansion if we needed one?
Generally, no. Unfortunately, with New York State, there's federal funding that goes to the state level, and then the state actually through Environmental Facilities Corporation. Disperses that money. Generally speaking, so what happens is it has to do with when they're ranking projects and ranking the funding. They don't reward you for being good stewards and planning ahead, okay? You need a crisis, and that's when they're gonna start funding.
We have a crisis, it's called a housing crisis. So while it's an engineering problem for the county, our housing crisis is the worst in New York State. So I think we should think about making a case from a different perspective.
And we can, but I can tell you based on the written
Right. No, I'm just,
regulations that EF said, yeah.
because I understand what we're struggling with here, but this would go a long way to helping our housing problem.
One metric gives us the biggest housing crisis in the state.
Pattern for progress.
Live in Columbia County.
Yeah.
Or lots of that.
Well, in terms of, prices remaining high and limited inventory, those are our problems, price and inventory.
Yeah,
I can see if we study,
Definitely, because it'd be a nice thing to arm yourself with
okay.
in a conversation.
Yeah, so we will, definitely we need to pursue that. But I can
We
just
can-
tell you from the state level, as far as EFC, it's just not very promising.
And Mike Tucker is tied into that, so we could know as well, but I just want to
Yep.
put one in for housing.
Sure. So to that, I'm sorry, with housing, the state this past year, there was some grant money which had a cap of $1 million for infrastructure associated with housing.
And small pennies compared to what we.
Exactly, correct, right.
pennies
So,
on the dollar.
but I just, at least I wanted to be upfront, that was the only other, and that was just, this was the first year that they had that program. And actually, we were, although we did not have a project to support housing that was identified in, as far as infrastructure, we did receive $500,000 towards the water project as far as the water tank. So we did benefit from that program through the state.
Funded again next year.
Yeah,
More money,
yeah,
maybe.
I
You know,
hope they do, because then
it
we
was
can,
successful,
then we can consider something like that, exactly. Wastewater, or I'm sorry, solid waste subcommittee. So we're preparing a questionnaire based on information that has been provided to us. So I'm gonna try to get together, sometime in October as far as that subcommittee and reconvene that so we can continue our discussions. And again, that's been on me as far as not convening that.
like you haven't had anything else to do, apparently.
We haven't seen any evidence of him.
Right.
Yeah, here it comes.
5 resolutions that are coming,
So the first 2 resolutions that I have to do with audits. One is for County Route 7 in Gallatin, and the second one is for County Route 7 in Austerlitz. Now, these are associated with audits that are required by New York State DOT for any bridge project or Bridge New York project that has design fees over $300,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Was that for both of them, Donna?
Yes. Thank you. Second resolution is for slope stabilization down in Gallatin along Route 7. This is located adjacent to a project, the bridge project that we're currently working on. There's a slope failure that's taken place that's located just outside of the actual project area. It's adjacent to, but located outside of the project area where the slope has fallen away. And now we're starting to see cracking and separation in the shoulder of the asphalt. And we do need to take care of it. So since Colarusso was already on site, I had met with them regarding a scope and outlined what the improvements would be. And they've provided us a proposal, and I'd like to be able to move on it. I just wanted to note the price tag you see here at $25,000. Prior to this, I had requested from GPI, the engineers that we're utilizing on the bridge project, the scope and fee from them. Their fee or proposal was $35,000 just for the design. I said, thank you very much. We'll do it in-house. And
Well, they need core samplings too, I'm sure.
They needed it all.
They fill that thing right up.
Yeah, they needed it all. So we ended up doing it in-house, but yeah, it's a pretty reasonable fee as far as that's concerned. So I'd like to
Have a motion and a second, all in favor on the slope repair.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ray.
County Route 11.
Another reason we have a licensed PE for.
Yes, indeed. There are some benefits.
Yeah.
I try to save money. I know I spend a lot, but I try to save money as well. County Route 11. So this is a Bridge New York project, and it's for the replacement of an existing culvert. And so we've gone through the procurement process. Following the state guidelines, we'd like to go ahead and engage Clough Harbin Associates, CHA, out of Albany, in the amount of $382,431 to do the design for that particular project.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
And finally, wood policy. If you recall, we had a fill policy that was passed a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. We've been working for quite some time with HR, counties, labor attorney, as well as the union, and Tony's been deeply involved in this, and we believe that we've come to a consensus. They've reviewed it, they've agreed to it, and we'd like to be able to move forward with it. I understand that there may be some comments that I may need to address or explain as far as that goes regarding some concerns. But basically what we've done is we've broken up the wood as a commodity, if you would, into several areas. First is chips. Okay, so where possible, the county highway department usually chips on site, tries to place it into the woods, the adjacent property. Otherwise, the county utilizes it for our own purposes. But from time to time, there is a request. And so what would take place is there would be a list that anybody was interested, and then they can come and they can get the chips, or we can deliver the chips to them and drop them off. Second is for, and there's a hierarchy if you read through the policy. The second one has to do with what's known with distributable wood. So these are smaller limbs that get cut. And that distributor would traditionally and would continue that once that wood is cut, it would be available to the neighboring property, or the property that the cutting was taking place on. And then if not, it would be to the immediate adjacent areas. From there, it would be then potentially brought back to this, the outpost. And then we would have a list where people can then come and pick up the wood from the outpost. Okay, but we are not allowing for them to be cut down into predetermined size of 18 inches, 12 inches, you know, it's 3 foot lengths or thereabouts. Take it as is. You're not going to be able to pick and choose. You want this, but not that. Take it or leave it, as far as that's concerned. And that would be a running list. And that list would be for county employees as well as any residents within the county as well.
How about electeds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big red oaks dying on county roads right now. Can you keep them 10 foot sticks?
Right,
The last portion of that is what would be considered saleable wood. And as an example, when the highway department had done the clearing up at the water tank site, those were trees that were taken down practically in their entirety. So again, in that instance is going ahead and putting it out to auction, and anybody and everyone obviously has the ability of, you know, bidding on that particular item. So that's just a very brief overview. I'm sorry?
You need a motion?
I would request a motion. I do know that there's some questions yet. So I'm wondering whether I would need to address those and then come back, or do we want to table this for next month?
Depends on your time frame. Again, as I read the start, they asked me about that, and I did say that there was time between now and full board. So if there needed to be something modified, if we moved this to full board and there was a modification, maybe it could be modified between now and full board. And if not, I know that you worked hard with the unions and everybody did. So
And any
if
changes.
you're going to change, you're going to
So,
throw it out.
well, not only that, but if there are changes, I would have to go back and at least run it past the union as far as that's concerned, and not knowing what the time frame is. As much as I would love to put this behind me, I know Tony is tired of talking about wood.
Yep.
What I would rather do, I just learned about the concern today. I'm willing to table this until next month to hopefully get anything resolved, get it back before our labor attorney as well as the union.
And I'm hoping that what Ray tells me will satisfy my concerns so that we don't have to make any changes.
And I do know that there had been a lot of, I haven't been directly involved in all this, but I knew there's been a lot with the labor, unions. And so I do respect the work that's going on, but
I'm aware of why.
I want everybody to be comfortable with it.
Absolutely, yeah, and as do I. I want to make sure everybody, including the supervisors, are comfortable.
Brenda had a different perspective on it, so I, respect that too. So we need a motion to table this resolution formally. How's that?
Motion table.
Motion and second, all in favor to pause it. I won't sign that on it.
I still hear about it.
Any questions?
Any other questions for Ray?
We did turn over a bridge to you. Congratulations.
What is it called?
Same bridge. Lock your doors tonight, right?
John L. Collins Bridge.
And we may need $500,000 to do a temporary repair to start the bridge because the state wants us to close that. So, Ray's gonna have information for us.
Can you meet with me and Ray
Next
before you
meeting.
go home?
There's no trails near that bridge.
Thank you.
Well, that one family, the girls all used to Sunday topless down there, but that was 4
right.
years ago.
Up next, we have facilities.
Maybe that's why they want to do it.
They're a lot older now.
Yeah.
It happens.
All right.
Let's see here. 325, we had to put a pad in, a concrete pad, and kind of extend the electric for the new Narcan vending machine down there. In the back there, we had some issues with the trees popping up the concrete, so we actually had a guy that does foam jacking come down, and he leveled it off and did a really good job. So it took the tripping hazard away now back there. Let's see here, 401, we've been working up in our office doing the carpet and some painting. Committee room lock change here, a couple locks in the attorney's office. 560, we replaced the bench and painted it. Put new bollards in to protect the new generator that's out back. Courthouse, we had to run two data lines for the judges from the basement up to their offices. 11 Warren, we're still just trying to pick up the debris and plus up on the roof from time to time to check the drains. Fire training center, we had to put
Still got clandestine barbecues going on down there.
Yeah, and then so hopefully the fences are gonna take care of a lot of that, but we have somebody that is staked a claim there and we're having problems, so it's an honor. We're trying to work with them. Fire training, for the new concrete pad for the drafting intake for the tanks. For the new outlet in, to charge the hazmat trailer. Nutrition every year when they have their, senior day, we go out there, go through all the ceiling tiles, lights, and take breaks and clean all their exhaust hoods for them, while they're gone.
Never easy to work in the restaurant's kitchen.
No, it's a good day too, because they're out of there, so we have free
Yeah,
reign.
right. No, I hear
Every
you.
year it's
Yep.
scheduled to do that, so.
I used to do some restaurant refrigeration. It was never a good time,
Is the new refrigerator that they're getting the same amperage? We have to do an electrical upgrade for that refrigerator that we approved yesterday.
Probably less. For
They're getting a new
OFA.
commercial fridge there.
No, it should be
Is it a
fine. I
replacement
got it.
or is it an additional?
That,
This is the
now
first I've
you're
heard
above
of
my
it.
pay grade.
Yeah, this should be fine, because it's probably replacing one that's down. Yeah, they're,
Usually it's a lot less, so.
yeah, it'd be fine.
They're right here, commercial.
Yeah. See here.
So swing break between the break.
Right. Tape it on or something.
Highway, we, paired a light, well, actually, I think it was some receptacles up on the second level. Worked on a pressure washer. Right now, we're currently putting in a transfer switch in for the generator at Copake. It's a little tricky because it's a different transfer from the generator, so we got to figure this one out. These were all freebies we got. Let's see here, airport, we had a issue with the gate, fixed that. One of the sensors was broken. Then let's see here, 911, we put a new, we've been working up at, for Rob at some of the tower sites. So we had to put couple new outlets in for that, but that turned into even a more project. I don't like how the panel boxes have the open spots in them, but when you take it apart, there is no studs to put your breakers. So I had to go back and then upgrade the electric to the other panel box so we can run the lines out of there. So a 3-hour job turned into like a day and a half.
Okay.
So,
Sounds like plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, right?
Yeah. So going off of pictures too, so I was like, yeah, that'd be no problem.
Yeah, right.
I should have just went there and did it myself, but.
When was the movement date?
For 911? Their furniture is coming in this first week in November. I think their formal official switchover, where they're gonna go live, last that I heard was first week of December.
Mhm. Yeah, then just at that, right there, we were running new, data and camera lines and plus the door access, wires. The only thing we're waiting on now is the hardware. I'm waiting to receive that so we can put that in.
Who it?
Second.
We had a motion in a second on the full-time maintenance worker.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can spot.
Yeah, then this one is full-time labor position.
Second.
Motion in a second, all in favor on the full-time laborer.
Always.
Any other questions for Brian? Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And we have, solid waste.
Even 5 minutes.
That's all the form, but I think she only has one resolution.
This one. So many excavator?
No.
So we have our household hazardous waste day on Saturday. The agenda was due before this, so I don't have all of the graphics. That'll be next month, but it was about 530 households. I did add a different, another question to our little survey that we do, and 46% of the people that went to our collection day do not utilize our stations. So almost 50% of the people don't use the solid waste stations.
On a
So
normal basis, right?
on a normal basis. Yep, they have private hauler, municipal, or Cayman transfer station.
They use this one. But they use household hazardous waste,
Yes.
right?
And that was, what percentage of it?
About 46%.
That was 500 people that showed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that good or bad?
Does that tell us to close transfer stations?
Yeah.
What does it tell us?
It's just an additional, there's always a conversation that the household hazardous waste is always just generating people that utilize our stations. And so I wanted to know if that was actually truth or not. And so 46% of the people that did attend don't utilize our stations. That was all that was. So
You know, but I'm thinking about the subcommittee and just wondering if that's a way to cultivate customers, or do we want those customers? You know,
Sure.
down the road.
But you can't get that service elsewhere from, I mean, you know, a lot of our,
I'm just thinking about market share.
yeah.
Capacity, we've got unused capacity. Is the solid waste available perhaps to the people who do use the stations? I don't know. Just
Ray wants to reconvene that.
And is there a value associated with that, that
Exactly.
we should be capturing,
exactly.
which is part of it?
So I think it's a great question, because it already provokes 3 questions from me.
sure. And so we also, our department just wants to thank all of the towns that distributed our flyers, whether it was through mail or email. We did receive numerous calls from residents saying that they had received the flyers from their towns. And so we really appreciate the support.
Social media works good for those kind of things, I tell you.
But yeah, towns have like mass emails and
Yeah.
I think the town of Gallatin might have mailed out a mailer or something.
Yeah.
So we were really appreciative of that. So
We did Facebook and, you know,
Yeah.
we have a subscriber list on the website, so we can do all the news blast and,
Okay.
you know, we'll send those things out there, but we don't have that many people. Yeah, I wish we had more,
Right.
you know. But it works.
But it worked and we appreciate that. So thank you. And we are currently working on a case study for the food truck program. The state actually reached out just asking if we had one. They're working on a state level comprehensive climate action plan for the federal climate pollution grant program. And they're trying to gather information from municipalities that have done different types of food scrap programs, whether it's composting or food scrap, so that they can demonstrate how mitigation measures can effectively be scaled to various
So
communities.
they want to say what a great job you've done and they're gonna give us another digester, right? You know? Keep trying, you know?
They offer a bigger one?
Huh?
They offer a bigger one?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And they also now have these attachments to it so that the soil amendment will go into the thing next to it, and then you add browns and you you have actual compost instead of a soil amendment.
And then you get the big money pork bone grinder.
Be nice. And then I have one resolution request, and it's for the 2026 budget. Thank you. Perfect.
And motion in a second, all in favor?
Wendy, question.
Yeah.
Did you get a call, or Ray might have, I don't know, we had somebody looking to buy some land or purchase some land down here that, well, landfill down there, you know, kind of, Town Road.
A recent
Yeah.
phone call,
And
not to my knowledge.
because I
no.
told them, like, that's where you gotta go. They were looking for information from the landfill, and I said, listen, I don't carry any of that. That's kind of a landfill, so.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't receive a phone call
Okay,
or email.
just wondered, you
No.
just, you called us, like, one, looking to buy some land, and you want to know what the flow is, and I said,
okay, yeah,
that's come through town. Okay, I forwarded them to you, so you might get a call.
that's fine. Thank you.
Before you go, I'd like to say I went to the household hazard waste. I was in line. It looked like you ran a fantastic
Thank
operation.
you.
I did see a lot of people walking back and forth to the station, so maybe you could requisition a golf cart or a side by side.
So thank you
For
for that.
support
I've
logistics.
had over 23,000 steps before.
Wow.
2 o'clock. So yeah, it is really far from the fire training building to actual vendor.
Yeah,
But you had so many cars, I could watch the traversing, so, I mean, it was great. You guys are fantastic, but I think for next year, you should definitely
you.
put in a little extra.
and I take it
support.
worked out okay, even with all of the new activity in the parking lot over there.
Yeah,
It got smaller, but,
we got smaller. We had a new crew this year. So it was, a rough start to the event.
okay.
It smoothed out by about 9:30 and we were good to go, but it was a little bit of a rough start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, just to confirm that the senior passes go on
Yes,
sale
that's,
December 1st.
We're gonna try and do December 1st. I haven't reached out to any of our municipal clerks yet.
Okay.
I will send out, an email.
This is coming.
Yep, I'll send out an email probably the middle of October,
Okay.
just kind of giving them a heads up.
Great.
And then we don't distribute them until sometime in November.
And can seniors buy it any other place than their local town hall? Can they,
They can buy them anywhere, but at a reduced rate, they can only buy them at the clerks,
at their,
at any clerk.
At
that
any
sells
clerk,
them,
okay,
yes.
all right.
But for a reduced rate, they have to purchase them at a clerk's.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Have you noticed the reduction in flow through the station? Because I know construction's down, and, you know, the totals are slightly lighter.
Our quotas were really low. I mean, we were down 200 ton this month, or well, last August. We were looking at each other halfway through August, wondering what's happening. We've talked to a couple
I
of
think it's
people.
all over.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
I was gonna say, building
talked-
permits are
we
down,
talked to some
construction is
people on
off.
construction and they were like, no, we're really, really slow. So
It's not affecting your budget at
it's
all.
not affecting my budget at all. I
We
will
did these things
say-
hoping to prove we haven't bump
Yeah.
up and,
I will say that, we do have a couple of big projects, that we are doing this week into next week, that will bring in some tonnage for us. But yeah, no, we definitely had a rough August.
Our MSW in Canaan was down 20% for the year over year, and the contractor that runs the transfer station said that his numbers were down at least that much. He wouldn't provide a number.
Yeah.
So it's consistent with your experience.
Still got $80,000 worth of building permits this year, and we're climbing still.
Too expensive to build.
our building
Yeah.
permits are off, you know, Stuyvesant and Kinderhook too. If there's no other questions for Wendy, I want to go back to the farmer's market request that we had last month as well. The farmer's market folks had requested the use of the parking lot in the winter time up there. At 560, there was some questions on liability. They had first had some kind of stiff requests on the timing of making sure that the parking lot was cleared at a certain time. They wanted to keep a porta potty there in the winter time. I have spoke to the director of the Hudson Farmers Market and expressed those concerns with them, and did talk to Rob Fitzsimmons, the county attorney. They do provide certificates of insurance in an acceptable manner. But we restructured this a little bit, and the quick write-up I am proposing to the committee tonight is that the Public Works Committee has received a request from Brandon, I can't pronounce his last name, of the Hudson Farmers Market for the use of the county's parking lot at 6th and Columbia Street for Saturday use from November 29th, 25 through April 11th of 26. They would occupy the lot from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those Saturday dates. Only vendors will be in the parking lot. Some vendors will be inside the church building adjacent to it. There will be no porta potty, as they will have access to bathroom facilities in the church. The facilities department will continue to clear the lot on their schedule as time allows, and the farmers market will be provided a phone number to contact facilities department after hours in a storm event, so that they may be advised of the lot's condition. The Hudson Farmers Market will be providing certificates of insurance from the vendors to cover the county, as well as instructed by the county attorney's office. So if we can all live with that, then I need a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Motion to adjourn.
Any questions from the public?
No over parking in the lot.
No, there's no public parking in the lot, no. I had thought that they were parking cars in there to go into the church building. But they actually want to have some vendors out in there because the vendors can't go in the church in the wintertime.
They do that.
We'll see how that works for them. They're having some issues with access in the church with ADA accessibility and things like that. That's something they have to work out on their end of it. You know?
Yeah, suggested they use the community tenants, but he said no.
Yeah.
Not a,
Yeah, they were at the Elks last year, but you know,
okay.
we'll see. Bill, you have a question?
Yeah, actually, a few quick ones, also having to do with parking lots. The two parking lots on either side of, 325 Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
One is owned by the city, the big one on the east side.
Yeah.
And the other one's owned by the county on the west, by third. Is there some sort of agreement with the city, in terms of the parking lot that the city owns and the county primarily uses?
So there was an agreement. I understand that it's kind of past tense, you know.
Is it written somewhere?
There was a written agreement years ago, but I think that it is it run out. It was like for 5 years, and you know, it went away. So
there's no official written agreement about what.
You'd have to check with the county attorney on that one for sure, and let you know, Brian, anything more than that for sure. I know.
No, I based on what I've seen.
I know there's been conversations.
There's been conversation and the agreement, so long ago, and it just, lots and lots, the city was plowing and,
Kind of like this lot next door to us too at 401. I mean, that's a city-owned lot. We've been taking care of it for years, but it's never been, an official agreement, but.
So, I'm assuming that the county paid for the coating of the city-owned lot?
Yes, I'm covering all that. Just because it's an issue with, trying to keep up, no one can see the lines and everything like that, so we.
And the old agreement was that we maintained it, so, we continue to
Unless
do so.
not snow. That was
Well, as a city of Hudson resident, this all seems very odd to me. And if I were an attorney for the county or the city, I don't think I'd approve of this, where a county is doing what they want on city property. And I can tell you that recently at meetings at the city level, only one person, city official, in Hudson knew that the city owned that parking lot. That was the police chief. She's been around here for a long time.
Yeah.
But it just seems very odd to me. And I don't see why the county wouldn't reach out to the city and say,
We have, and
to purchase it.
well, no, just to try and get an updated agreement, but.
Okay.
And we can pursue that again.
Shouldn't the
We'll
county
probably
own
wait.
the lot that it uses for that building? Why wouldn't you guys want to own that?
Not that we
from a
wouldn't want to own
liability
it, but the city does own it, so that's always a fact,
Yeah.
There was an agreement back when that building was constructed, and how the land was acquired. And you could talk to Rick Sclair about that. He was mayor at the time.
There's nothing now.
No, but I mean, if you ask why it is what it is,
It seems awful odd. This doesn't seem.
a lot of things seem awful odd here in the city of Hudson, but here we are.
From the liability expense.
Yep.
So the other lot over by Third Street, owned by the county, are you guys aware that the 6 or 7 spaces that are set aside for supposedly customers of the bodega across the street, that they are occupied, let's say close to 24 hours by a cab company by the name of Northern Cab?
That's outdoor.
I mean, if you, excuse me.
You mean abuse?
So,
No,
like,
outdoor. The
I guess
owner of that.
I'm asking, I'm wondering, is the county aware of this? And is the county okay that those 7 spaces, there's, I think 6 actually, are not being occupied for their purpose, which is, I assume what the county wanted to begin with when you put the signs up that said, these spaces for customers of the bodega across the street. So again, another kind of like.
And we could look into that one. Yeah, I'm not aware of that one, so I'm not gonna comment, but it's, having to look into it.
And so who would be the person that would look into like the big picture of it, like nobody should be parking there overnight, right?
Yeah, I say I will look into it. That's, That's my promise.
And last question, the solid waste committee, is it called the working group?
Mhm.
Is there a scheduled meeting coming up or?
He just talked about that in this last meeting.
So there
He's
isn't,
gonna
there isn't a
schedule one.
scheduled meeting
No.
for the future? And when one is made, is it a public meeting? Can the public attend?
Yeah.
So it's announced?
Yeah.
That'll be an announcement.
All right. There's nothing else. We'll go back to Kippy's motion to adjourn. Or, you
Jim.
did, I'm sorry. Forgot. He's second. All right, motion second, all in favor? Aye. Have a good night, folks. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, did you know we have our first?
I'd like to open the county government meeting for 9/17/25. Like to have tourism is up.
Okay, so the first item is recognizing the department as the tourism promotion agency for I Love New York. This will allow us to receive funding for 2026.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carry.
And then the second resolution is renewing our 2-year agreement with the Sheriff's Department for police services for filming purposes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, carry. Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Adam.
Next up is human resources.
Evening. It's a lot of change going on today.
Oh,
Yep. 401 now.
The noise is settling.
Well, you were right.
Oh, my God.
It was a long way.
Yeah.
no. Kippy was charged up and ready. you
He
know.
was.
Yeah. Linda, we gotta go, you know.
Right.
So this is the annual resolution for us to ask for next year to be able to sign into contract to offer vision and dental insurance plans through our multiple providers of Delta Dental, Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield Dental, and Emblem, who provides health and vision and dental.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carry.
Thank you.
Hopefully it'll get easier this year.
What's that?
It'll be a little easier this year
As far as,
as compared to last year.
oh, hopefully. Contracting with Blue Cross Blue Shield for a Medicare Advantage plan with Anthem. That's our only provider that we offer.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Whichever.
Perfect.
Oh, carry.
Okay, and this is every year, as you know, there are certain salaries. The summer youth program comes out of my budget, and then we allocate the monies out to the different departments.
So Michael, I did have a question on this. Why
Sure.
the numbers didn't jive here? There's an extra $11,000 in this spreadsheet that isn't accounted for in the upper part of the resolution. You refer to $38,000,
So
but then
you were
the
sent,
printout.
you were sent the adjusted resolution with the adjusted thing. Is that one of the resolutions?
Okay.
Dawn had made an error. She did not include the stipends that get paid to the YAP supervisors. So that was added out of there because the summer youth employment program is the up to 12 slots for the county departments, as well as the up to 4 slots for the youth apprenticeship program, through Questar.
Okay.
So this year we had two youth. We had 3 shadow, 2 came on. And then I sent an adjusted resolution and an adjusted backup.
So this just needs to go to 42,000. on
Yes,
that.
it was in the
Okay,
budget. Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
Okay.
And the difference is the stipends that as part of the YAP agreement and our agreement with UPSU, this is a shadowing project. So although the kids are working and they're getting paid.
And I'm not questioning any of that, just the
Oh,
numbers
no,
didn't
just-
match,
no,
you
and
know.
that's okay,
right,
and I
yeah.
appreciate that, and I apologize for the error.
That's all right.
I'd be more than happy to send you, if you need me to send you anything, but the adjustment between the two were the stipends that were paid to highway department supervisors in order to complete the shadowing.
We'll get it corrected and
Yeah, no
before we do
problem.
it at full board, that's all.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
You're
If you,
moving to accept it as amended,
Should we
right?
just amend this to 49,729?
it matches the others. Yep,
So I'll make a motion to amend it.
thank you.
$49,729.93.
Exactly.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Thank you all, and I apologize for the error.
No problem.
And thank you for doing this again this year.
Yeah, it was wonderful. You had a great program this
You
year.
did.
Thank you.
next up is veteran.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
So the first thing, we had senior day last Wednesday at the fairgrounds with OFA. Was very busy. I think they said around 400 seniors were there. The
They
VA,
capped it at 350, but they had 400.
right?
250.
Yeah, the VA provided a box of flag for us to give away. Everyone loved it. It was great turnout. OFA did a great job. And the veteran bus, or veteran transportation, we are working, I'm working with Jim about the bus that we have and finding something to replace that. I have a resolution for the deputy director
Is this to advertise or to hire?
to hire.
This was
That's
to
a-
change the salary from
Yeah.
19 to
We
18.
had already
Yes.
voted to hire.
Yes, the previous resolution was 19,000. It had to be changed to 18,000, so that's why there's a new resolution.
You want to go? Maybe motion for that,
Your
to
motion.
change the salary.
Sorry. Yeah, we motion to.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Thank you. Independent living, Patsy and I went there for their grand opening last month, and we both made good contacts. We talked to a
Where is
lady.
this?
What was that?
Where is it?
It's, I don't have the address on, it's independent living.
So like the new office in
Yeah.
Housing Greenport that used to be on like 7th Street?
I believe so,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
While we were there, we met somebody with, that works with Stride, which is the adaptive sports. We'll be working with them to work with our veterans, see if, events that the veterans are interested in. And Breezy Lawn Farm, we had Jen from Breezy Lawn Farm came to our coffee hour and that was the second Tuesday of the month. They're the horse farm that we have a contract with in Greene County. And she came and talked about their program, and we had a lot of veterans sign up for information for that, which is great. Every coffee hour, we try to have a speaker to keep veterans informed.
I have a question.
All right.
Back to the bus.
Yes,
So could you explain to us the bus? So the bus we bought is the one that's for wheelchairs, correct? We did
Yes.
that a couple of years ago. That's the bus you want to get rid of, or?
yes, that's because we don't really use it. And
That requires.
The chairman-
a CDL.
yeah, the chairman had
Okay.
commented that maybe the county could take that in
We're
place
gonna
of,
move, we're gonna move it into the transportation program.
Okay, so then if down the road, if she needed it for anything, it's.
So they're gonna get a bus, they're gonna get a van with wheelchair, right?
yes, we're working to get a transit
They
van.
just have less.
Oh, okay, a transit van over top of the bus. Okay,
Yes.
okay,
It
I
doesn't
see.
require the special license.
Correct. It still has a wheelchair access because we feel that that's.
Right, that's, I'm just worried that.
And the money- And the money we got from the insurance claim on the one bus that got the accident, will pay for this transit van.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's Just
Is
asking
that
a question,
correct, Jim?
All right.
That's it. Answer it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
We appreciate any hand-me-downs you got.
Yeah, but
Real
very,
property.
in very good
It's
shape.
a new van.
That's it, brand new. What's that, 5,000 miles on it?
Yeah.
And it's not having any miles on it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello?
The first one I have is an authorization to enter into a contract with the town of Canaan for data verification and parcel valuation services.
No.
I was waiting for you to move.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The second is the same for the town of Chatham.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody. There's a couple updates for you. Listening to Rachel's report, I attended OFA Senior Day as well. I spoke to a lot of people about the senior exemption that were unaware of it, and we did get some people signed up for it. I attended the Northeastern Regional Directors Meeting in Boston Spa last week. Tyler and I attended a RPS online training today in Guilderland. It's a lot more impressive than what we were originally anticipating, and the state seems to be doing a good job with it. They're going to be rolling it out in November to Hamilton County as the test pilot, and hopefully we can get it into Columbia County next year once we talk to all the assessors about it. We're going to focus on trying to get a countywide migration rather than town by town. I'm going to be attending the Directors Conference in October, and I'll obtain 2 certification classes while I'm there. Reminder that assessors' terms end on September 30th. We currently only have reappointments for 9 out of the 19 municipalities. There could be some that we haven't gotten copies of yet, so if you're at the table and haven't gotten me a copy, please do so. And my deputy director's position has been posted and resumes are due on October 1st.
Have you got any yet?
Just one.
Uh-huh.
And that's all.
Is this an exempt or test position?
It's a hired provision. So there will be a test at some point.
Okay.
They're anticipating that'll probably be June of next year that the test will be available. Because that seems to be when they're running the real property exams.
So that would be plenty of time to get ready and be ready.
I would think so. I took the last test and it was very relevant to the position. So I think the person that wants to,
Identify. Right.
yeah, I think they'll be able to get this.
What's our salary?
It's a range, so it's 71 to 75,000. Any other questions? All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Next up is controller.
Jim Marco?
Morning. You're at the wrong committee, though.
I know.
You know,
Throwing everybody else.
are you confused?
By his number.
Oh, I thought this number was actually lower than I thought it was. So, we have to upgrade our website to make it ADA compliant. And while we're doing that, the chairman wanted to standardize the look and feel of the website from each department. So we found this company, Civic Plus, who does it. They do Rensselaer County, and they sent us about 6 or 8 other counties that they do. They're all good-looking websites, and this is what they do. And then once we get up and running, they'll also maintain the website annually for us going forward.
And that's on state contract.
It's not state, the GSA contract.
Yes, we
Yeah.
Any other questions? Motion,
I'll make a motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Maybe we come to our towns and do our favorite testing.
If you have your,
Yeah.
if you have your own 70,000.
Yeah. No, see, I was gonna take 15 years to pay that.
We're recording.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn? Anything else, got any questions?
Thank you.
Got a motion to adjourn? Need a second?
Second.
We're not doing.
No.
Just had a report.
It doesn't matter.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
All right, hold on, let me get out.